Hello friends, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Amanda. Nice to meet you. Hello, how are you? Thank you for being here. I appreciate your existence. And if you're not new here, and if you've been here for a while, or if you've kind of been here for a little bit but not that long, or you've been here, you know, since I began, or if you're me, what's up? I really appreciate you watching. Today's video is another what I eat in a day nutrition spotlight. I think this is the third video in this installment or series in which I make foods based on a certain nutrient or a certain food and then spit some hashtag facts. So today's spotlight is chickpeas. Chickpeas literally are my favorite legume. You can do so much with them. You can make hummus. That's the number one thing. It's the perfect food, and stay tuned to find out why I think it's the perfect food. But today we're actually not gonna do hummus because I'm sure you guys know how to make hummus, and maybe you wanna see other things being made with chickpeas. I will be showing you a breakfast, lunch, and dinner that you can make with chickpeas, and just share some information that I learned about chickpeas, or that I know about chickpeas that I wouldn't have normally known if I didn't research chickpeas or love nutrition so much. So I'm just here to share some recipes and nutrition information with you guys because those two things are my absolute passion. Alright, enough talking, let's get into the chickpeas. Let's get into the chickpeas. Let's get into the recipes. Let's get into the chickpea recipes! Let's get started with this 2-minute chocolate mug cake. Okay, it's actually 2 to 3 minutes depending on your microwave, mug, etc. But 2 sounds better, so let's just go with 2-minute chocolate mug cake. This is really great to make because you can just throw it together and bring it with you to class or work or wherever you need to go, or just enjoy it because sometimes things taste better in a mug. Anyway, the recipe is really simple, and all you do is blend everything together and microwave it for 2 to 3 minutes until cooked. What I love about this mug cake is that the main ingredient is chickpeas, which I've actually never used before for mug cakes. As you might know, chickpeas are a wonderful source of carbohydrates and protein, and the protein quality is considered to be better than some of the other pulses. It has significant amounts of all the essential amino acids except the sulfur-containing amino acid methionine, which can be found in many other plant foods such as sesame seeds. A little off topic, but sesame seeds are what make up tahini, which is a base along with chickpeas in hummus, which might be why hummus is the absolute perfect food. I topped this mug cake with frozen berries, which added the perfect temperature difference to the hot cake and the melty ooey gooey chocolate chips that I added before I put the cake in the microwave. All of the recipes are written out in the description below, so make sure you go take a look at that if you want to know exactly what ingredients there are. For lunch, I made this painfully simple but amazing cranberry walnut chickpea salad sandwich. Try saying that 10 times fast. I've made this a couple times before, and it's one of my favorites because it takes me back to when my mom used to buy those Sonoma chicken salad mixes from Costco. I used to slather that stuff on bread or in lettuce, and when I took a bite of this, I was transported back to my childhood, kind of like when Ego took a bite of the ratatouille. Anyway, this recipe is pretty self-explanatory, and if you want the full recipe, check out the link in my description. All you do is make the sauce, which is bomb AF, and mix it in with your chickpeas and veggies. The celery gives it such a nice crunch, and the cranberries are absolutely vital for the sweet tart balance to the creamy sauce and chickpeas. The original recipe uses 2 cans, but I only used 1 can of chickpeas because I didn't have enough, so I had to half the recipe. I should have used 2 because this was gone in 1 day. Nutrition-wise, cooked and canned beans are about the same, but the sodium content of canned beans can be almost 100 times that of cooked, so make sure you drain and rinse any canned beans that you have, and try to get low sodium or no salt when possible. Beans, regardless of type or form, are a nutrient-rich food and should be encouraged to eat every day. 96% of Americans don't even make the recommended half a cup of beans a day and are especially missing out on the nutrients that chickpeas offer, such as lowering your LDL cholesterol, managing diabetes, weight loss, and protection against heart disease. Chickpeas also have an exceptionally low glycemic index and even has a second meal effect, in which it can lower your blood sugar spike of the next meal you have. The study conducted used white and rice bread, and the legume powder was still able to blunt the spike in blood sugar for the next meal. This is why chickpeas and legumes are so good for diabetes. Substituting 1 serving of beans for 1 serving of white rice is associated with a 35% lower risk of metabolic syndrome. Speaking of white bread, I didn't have any other bread available in my house and I was eating chickpeas, so I felt like the health balanced out, right? Anyway, the minerals found in chickpeas, including iron, phosphorus, magnesium, copper, and zinc, mean that they're extremely beneficial for your bones. These minerals are important when trying to improve bone density and protect against osteoporosis. For dinner, I made this amazing coconut curry. I'm so happy I made a lot because I had leftovers for the next couple nights, or tomorrow depending on if my brother can find where I hid it in the fridge. If he does, RIP to the curry. Make sure you have all your veggies cut and ready to go so you can throw everything in the pot with the chickpeas, which, by the way, can increase your lifespan. Mediterranean consumption of chickpeas was found to have an 8% reduction in risk of death for every 20-gram increase in legume intake. Y'all, that's just 2 tablespoons worth. Imagine if you eat a cup of beans a day, which is super easy to do, especially with these recipes. And chickpeas go great in almost anything like this curry. I used the yellow curry paste that I found at the store, but you can use any curry paste you want. Make sure to check the ingredients because sometimes they sneak fish sauce in there. To make this curry, water saute thinly sliced onion in a pan. Again, I don't cook with oil, but if you want to learn how to cook with no oil, check out the links in the description. I shared some videos that have a bunch of tips to help you with some oil-free cooking. Anyway, once the onion is lightly softened, add in the other spices and then stir in your veggies until the veggies are completely coated with the spices in the curry. I used carrots, bell pepper, and cauliflower, but you can experiment with any other vegetables that you would like. Chickpeas are also extremely high in fiber, which our gut bacteria absolutely love, and the high levels of fiber can help eliminate inflammation, cramping, bloating, and constipation by promotion of, the movement in your bowels. Next, add in the coconut milk. The recipe I adapted this from used 2 cans of light coconut milk, but I only had 1 can of full-fat coconut milk, so I just added in a can's worth of unsweetened almond milk. With the coconut milk, add your chickpeas, sugar, and let cook for about 15 minutes or so until your veggies are crisp, soft, but make sure they're not overcooked. After about 15 minutes, add your soy sauce in with the vinegar. Taste and adjust the flavors as you would. Salt for a little bit more salty taste, sugar for more sweet, whatever you feelin', girl, you do you, or boy. Stir in your frozen peas and then let it cook for about 3 to 5 more minutes. Chickpeas have been used to treat high blood pressure and diabetes for thousands of years and have been shown to drop cholesterol levels down 20%. In a randomized crossover trial, adding 2 servings a day of legumes such as chickpeas, lentils, or beans cut cholesterol levels so much that the participants moved below the range for which statin drugs, which are blood cholesterol lowering drugs, are typically prescribed. At the end of it, because I didn't use 2 cans of coconut milk, my curry was a little bit thin for my liking, so I added in a couple tablespoons of cornstarch to thicken it. I served my curry with greens and rice and it was absolutely perfect. 10 out of 10, 20 out of 10 recommend, would make again probably this weekend when I have time. Would be tomorrow, but don't have time. That is everything that I have eaten in a day where I really felt like being a little chickpea because you are what you eat. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about chickpeas and watching me make some delicious food with it. And please, if you try any of these recipes, which again are in the description below, tag me in them, Instagram me, send me a photo. I would really, really love to see that. These recipes are so good. I just want to add a little thing. A lot of the facts that you guys have heard are sourced from credible sources, medical journals, peer-reviewed research, meta-analyses, and whatnot, and I actually referred a lot to Dr. Michael Greger's work, who is a medical doctor, and he runs a nonprofit website, nutritionfacts.org, and actually wrote this handy dandy book. And I did find myself referencing to this book. I was like, oh my gosh, where does he talk about the chickpeas and the Mediterranean and the second bean effect, or second meal effect especially? I read about that in this book. This much of the book, like it starts right here. All of this are just credits and references to meta-analyses, journal articles, peer-reviewed research and everything. So a lot of his work is very evidence-based. I would highly recommend this book if you want to learn more about nutrition and how it can impact your life, and especially the leading causes of death in this nation. If you're like me and you can't possibly have that much time to sit down and read this much of a book in the amount of time that you want to get it finished, you can always listen to the audiobook on Audible. I also bought the audiobook on Audible because I love listening to audiobooks while I walk and stuff. So definitely check out How Not to Die on Audible, and if you don't already have an account, I have an awesome link for you down below where you can get 1 month free and a free book. And if you decide for some reason not to keep your membership with Audible, you could cancel it and that book that you bought is yours to keep. I'm not sponsored by Audible in any way, but I do get a little bit of money if you use my link to sign up. I have used many other people's links before, and I do pay every month for Audible myself out of my own pocket because I love it and I love audiobooks so much. Anyway, again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you're having a wonderful morning, noon, day, or night wherever you are, and I will see you next time. Bye.